And we are live. Oh, um, new moon. You can see how my brain is a little wonky this new moon. It's really been quite the cycle. If you are new to tuning in to New Moon Oracle sessions, my dog Paco is welcoming you. I am welcoming you. My name is Josie. I am an energy medicine practitioner, and I guide people on journeys as well as different energy medicine that is all accessible and pretty self-explanatory on my site. I am excited to connect. This is a bi-weekly Oracle session. And as I shared a bit in the description, you're welcome to say hello, and also what are your intuitive gifts? What are the ways that you connect to your inner sight? For Oracle is that ancient practice of seeing, of being a seer. And that may be seeing things that are in past and future in time cycles, but most definitely it can also be much more than that. There is a lot to see within our inner world and a lot to see within our energy being. And this has been an interesting cycle for, can you feel the shifts of energy? Can you feel the fluctuations and the movements that are moving through us in a much more potent daily speed? And when that type of intensity of shifts occurs, and shifts meaning it's not necessarily that you're waking up and you're like, I'm a whole new person. Those shifts are meaning more so what is moving through the mind, what is moving through the feeling body, and what is being accessed, or how you feel in connection to heart, your center, and all that you have access to. So in that, I guess, explanation of it, what I mean by the daily shifts is that there may have been days leading up to the new moon, and for sure in the aftermath of this new moon, that you may feel really intensely connected to the heart, really connected, and going, I trust myself, I trust my heart, I trust my heart to guide me. I trust that I'm walking on a path that is true. And then there may be other days that literally could happen the next day, and that will put you into a very different perspective and shift of mind. So I'm definitely guided to chat about that first in this cycle, in the contemplations that come. For usually in the past, and I think this is the coolest thing about 2021, in our internal practices, is that previously, when those types of immense fluctuations would occur within a moon cycle, there was always a nudge to step further into devotional practices. So that could be a ceremony, that could be, a circle, it could be fill in the blank of some type of devotional practice that you, or even an ancestral altar, just different ways of you connecting to spirit, remembering spirit, and remembering that you are innately connected to them always. And so what I find is interesting in the shift of energy of this year, and specifically what has come up in the past moon cycle and where we are headed for the next 28 days, is We are being asked to let some of all that go. All the things, the extra works and the efforts that we feel that we must do to prove or our faith or our connection in the unseen. The unseen, of course, just with our eyes open. And that might seem, when I share things like that, what may come up is that either or, going, oh, okay, Josie has just said, don't do X, Y, and Z. And it's not as well that cut or dry, if that makes sense. The excess that is taking you out of presence, the excess of your practices that are taking you further from being in the simplicity that is. For the simplicity, the simple answer or the simple message is that we are always connected. The simple message is that, the earth, the elements, your spiritual guidance team, ascended teachers, you name it, ancestors, ancients, fill in the blank. They're all here. And in that guarantee, almost, in that guarantee of their existence, that guarantee of them being here with you on your path, is asking for a different practice, that instead of doing practices that kind of like, I just keep on getting, sorry, and I know I keep on going into this proving, but I'll explain why I keep getting this word, because I remember I saw this like show on Netflix that was about mediumship and past lives and all of that. I think it was like a 6-part series or so. And in what they shared, and I think it was a couple of the past life one was so beautiful, for people just shared of their experiences. And there was such, even in how it was being shot and being, how they were interviewing these people with past life experience, not past life experiences, sorry. When they passed, they passed and then came back from the dead. So, they had such a kindness and a compassion to these stories, which you could feel of how it was edited and all of that. I have a bit of a background in video. And that there was no doubt in the person who was shooting the film, shooting the series, that these people's experiences were true. And then in like the episodes that followed into mediums, how it was edited and how it was shown, it showed that there was almost like a doubt that what these mediums were connecting to was true. It was asking for more proof. And so it even shared of how like one of the people that kept on going to mediums to move through his father's passing, that he would almost kind of do little tests to see if he could trip up the person that was connecting to his dearly departed. And then it continued to show how even sometimes the people's spouses who were there in an intimate relationship during a very traumatic or time where someone's intuition increased or expanded, and they started to actually see further than where they could previously, and shared this with their partner, the person that is most connected, for greatest support. And there was still a little doubt because of how we have been taught to believe what can be proven and your connection right now that's the very clear message, is that your connection does not need to be proven. Your connection is true. Your path that you are walking on now is your path, is your purposeful path. And so any practices that may have been done, enacted in a way of trying to prove to yourself your connection to all of the beings that are here right now to assist you, doesn't need to be done anymore. What is being asked is for you to trust that connection, to trust that connection is true, to trust that your experiences are true. And that the dedication that you have placed on to your path is seen and is witnessed. And that dedication to your true path and to your connection to your heart, and to expand your belief, your trust in all that supports you on this path, is witnessed and is seen. And sometimes that simple message is just what's needed so that you don't have to keep questioning. And I get that there's been a lot of questioning and pulling of cards and checking in to see, is what I experienced true, or am I on the right path, or, questioning, just like doubt. And so to move forwards in the knowing that you are. I have a couple cards that I always kind of pre-pull before a session just to give me a nudge of what we're talking about. But I have a bunch to the side to see what comes through and what is being asked to be shared. And the beauty that I love about YouTube is that I can show you a card and it shows correctly. So look at this beauty. This is from the MoonORACLE Oracle deck. The end of a tough cycle approaches. It's neat. It also brings up Capricorn energy, for it shares full moon in Capricorn from this card. And when there is so much toughness, when there is so much difficulty that presents itself, right? I'm getting, even when I pull this card, and know that when I tune in, it may be that you're watching this live, or it could also be that I'm tuning into those that will be watching it on replay. So, but what I'm receiving from this card in connection to this space now is almost like, well, which one? Which tough cycle? There's a couple, you know, and a bit of kind of there's been a lot of challenge this year. There's been a lot of difficulty. There is a lot moving through in the public, in the collective, that is coming up and dismantling a lot. And so in that, the arduousness that is being showed within the collective for that, it sometimes may pull you away from your personal work, your personal inner work, to, of course, which is so important when there is such change on the collective, because that can then allow you to bring your best presence, your most collected presence, your most gathered aspect of all that you are, to out into your relations, out into your connections, out into, be it your workspaces, be it your play spaces, all of that, be it even within your home space. So the arduousness that I am receiving about what is coming up this new moon, and what also I have witnessed even in my own personal processes this new moon cycle, is they're like, well, what's the biggest one? When you ask, going, which tough cycle, what's the biggest one? The one that you may not even complain to someone else about. The one that you may have suffered quietly about for a very, very, very long time. The one that still is riddled with all of that we've been speaking of going, I don't feel like I would want to prove this to other people that I'm experiencing this. Maybe people won't believe me. Oh my goodness. I don't even know, like, is this really a big thing? Like, there's just a lot of all that confusion that is around that first message of connection, and that you are connected. You do have support, be it with nature, be it with Earth Mother, be it fill in the blank, that there is the end of the tough cycle that approaches or has approached, and you're just feeling the last ripples of, is that one. And if you haven't faced that, if you haven't fully just given some space, I know it is brave, it is asking you to be courageous. We're tired, there's so much stuff out there that is just you may not want to place attention to. There's so much dissonance. There's so much still people sharing, be it spiritual messages, physical messages, emotional messages, mental messages, in opposition, in still that type of arduousness, that toughness, so that they can be like, listen to me, listen to my experience, listen to this, and not that. Or listen to me as I look through a lens to all these other people that I can pick apart. You may have also heard the discernment, discern, and discernment's a tough one, pardon the pun, because if you haven't faced the thing within you that you've been discerning yourself from, then how the hell can you practice, discernment that serves your heart and that serves your being? To put it bluntly. If you are feeling still in opposition to a part of yourself, then how can you practice true discernment to another or in another situation? And so what was asked within this new moon, and know that this new moon, yes, was on April 11th, and today's April 13th. But as we know, the energy of now, or the energy of a cycle, has ripples that lead us towards that and lead us out of it. So hence why I'm getting that some may have already started to face it prior to new moon, or maybe even right on new moon, depending on the roller coaster ride of what was coming up, of going, yes, I trust, no, I don't. And this message is almost like to affirm, if you have already started to face that tough part of you, and started to witness what you have been also carrying that isn't even yours to carry. It's been really, it's really blows my mind. And this is from what I've seen, of course, within my practice, for what I share and when I work with others, but also what I actually witness within myself, within my own personal practice, is it blows me away to see like what we choose to still carry that is so not, serving us. That's a term that, I use, and I know many people use. It's like to let go of what is not serving you. And we tend to decide these big things that have surfaced, or, we're ready to let go. But usually the things that we carry in these tough cycles, in these longer things that we've had to work with and endure through, are things that when you look at it clearly, when you face it with the loving connection of going, you're a part of me, so I can look at you and I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to shame you. I'm not going to guilt you. You're me, so just to look at that thing that you may not talk about, or maybe only speak about with a couple trusted people. Maybe one of them's a therapist or a mentor or a really close friend. Maybe it hasn't even, maybe you felt you couldn't even share it to the close friend, to your family. It's something that has been hard or difficult to discuss because it's something that has sat inside for a really long time. Something that you've just gotten comfortable with carrying. It's neat. Prior to, I pulled this card, Commitment. And this is from the Fractal Cards Return of Spirit deck by Cheryl Lee Harnish. And it now makes sense from that information that came through. Because usually when we look at commitment, the question may be, what are you committed to? Or I hear a lot of what are you afraid to commit to? And this is almost going, well done. You have committed so long for so many cycles to carry something that you don't have to carry, that isn't even yours. For example, the my cross to bear type of thing. Like when someone says, oh, this is my shit, I got to carry it. Like, this isn't even your shit. This isn't even, when you actually look at it, it has nothing to do with you, but we have been so taught of this in opposition and proving and doing this, that it has conditioned a hell of a lot of martyr and savior cycles. And if you're not the martyr, then you become, if you're still working in that cycle, you're moving into the savior. And if you're not the savior, then you're moving into the martyr. It's just until you choose to step out of it. And so what has pulled you into that cycle within your life? And this might even be in past stories. Because this energy flip-flop is really asking us, as I said, to be simple, to be simply in the presence. And the present carries both the past and the possibilities of future. And so once you continue to be more and more practicing presence, then the work that comes with that is to witness when the past, or even a timeline of the future that has already been written from past choices, shows up within your mind, or shows up within your feeling body. So for you to believe that, I need to now give my life, give life to that and nurture it and feed it. So when I speak of that, I'm getting to now just take a moment and look at what thoughts come up, or what people come up into your mind. What has also been showing within your dreams recently that it might be confusing or discombobulating for you because it is from old stuff. And look at that. If you need ever assistance, I just feel to take a pause here, because I know when I move through, as you see, it's not planned. I'm just honoring what is coming through in this connection. So But I feel that there's a pause to just go, you are not alone. And if you do ever feel that you cannot see what this tough cycle is, connect with me. My spirit team and I are really good clearers and protectors. So that is one thing. So, just connect, and you can book an energy clearing or a guidance session, a personalized oracle session. And so we can get more into exact specifics. Since this is a collective message, things may kind of come up in it. But of course, one-on-one is where we could actually get into some specifics of what that cycle may be. You're gonna have, I wonder if you're, when many people, when they pull cards and have a chuckle, you'll get it. Okay, so look at this. So we spoke of, I just want to really get it clear here. So there's the first thing that came out for this session once it was live was the end of a tough cycle approaches, and how I tied that into the card that I drew about the theme of this new moon and what was coming through for this live session, and to those that and who will be connecting to this session, is commitment. And then look what just came. Ooh. Your commitment is being tested. I don't make this up. That's awesome. I don't mean to laugh at that, because that's actually a pretty intense message, of course. Your commitment is being tested. Which makes sense why this is the second card. Yeah. Which makes sense why I was sharing trust. Trust that you are not alone in this. Trust that you have assistance. Trust that Earth Mother is here. Trust that the elements are working with us. Trust that we are part of a much larger group of beings that are here to support us in stepping further and further on our true paths, plural. And so in that trust, I also shared of this, I believe, last week, which was been a very strong message of going, if then you can say, I trust that I have connection. I trust in that, I have ancestors, I have beings, I have angels, I have ascended teachers that love me, that want me to be happy, joyful, peaceful, all of it, to be successful, to be moving with a bit of ease through the fluctuations that are life, that is life. And so the message was, if you have worked so hard in your spiritual practice to place the trust in all of these other things, then can you now place the trust in your heart? Can you do that same type of trust of how you're like, I believe in this, I believe in this, I have faith that I am divine, I have faith that there is a God, I have faith that there is a creator. Can you say in that sentence, I have faith in me? I have faith in my heart. I trust in my heart. I trust in that center where all those different aspects of me come together. I trust that at times it might feel immense to connect to the heart because the mind is so active and giving you 50,000 different things to analyze and to overcomplicate. Maybe your mind, or the mind and the thought patterns and the processes and the analysis and the judgments and that is louder than this voice, than this song, than this sound. The cool thing about this sound is it's not a polarized place. I say this all the time. This is not new. We know this. There's only one answer here. So as much as you trust that there is an Earth Mother, as much as you trust that the elements are here to co-create with us, as much as you trust that you have ancestors, as much as you trust that there is a God, as much as you trust, as I said, fill in the blank, that there is another being outside of you, or what feels like it's outside of you, that is supporting you. Can you place thou that trust in you? Can you change that to go, I trust in my heart. I trust in my body. I trust in my being. I choose not to combat it and to fight it anymore. And I will practice not even the need to discern, because discernment is a very interesting word, and you can of course look it up on Google Dictionary, or whatever is your favorite dictionary source, and look into the meaning of it. It's a very interesting word. It carries a very specific energy. And so the practice is beyond discernment. The practice with self is in connecting to, that's what is being tested. That's the commitment, right? It's the commitment to you. It's the commitment to trusting you. It's the commitment to trusting that your path is true. It is the commitment to trusting that that all that is flowing in and out of your life, be it the tough cycles or the easy cycles, be it a part of flow, be it in an ebb of something, can you commit in the same way that you have had with all the altars and the ceremonies and the rituals and the prayers to beings outside of yourself? I'm not asking you to idolize yourself or worship yourself. Let's make that clear, right? There's all equal ground. It is not about being committed to you, being committed to trusting your path is true, being committed to trusting when your body shares anxiety to listen to it. To being committed to you and the journey of facing with love the things that you don't need to carry anymore, right? The things that you can let go, those other people's crosses, those other people's stories, so that you can now, how would that feel? How would that feel? To wake up and be, I trust the path I'm on. I trust my heart. I trust that my body, which is part of my essence, my soul, my spirit, these beautiful three things that encompass us, that gather and share wisdom within, I trust it. how would that change your daily prayers? How would that shift how you move through the circumstances of the day? If you trusted that what you were doing right now is true. And if comes up, but it sucks, then ask yourself, why? Why am I here? And am I able to shift it? And if I'm unable to shift it on my own, who can I ask for help? For trusting in your heart, trusting in your path, trusting in you does not mean, and this is something very neat that I feel I must clarify now, because I've been speaking a lot of multiple pathways, right? I don't ask you on in working with me to go on my path and to follow my path. Fuck that. There's no need for followers. There really isn't. It is about us trusting our nudges and journeying alongside each other to feel camaraderie on the journey. And the joy then in trusting that your path is true, trusting that your body can heal, trusting that your connection to nature is connection to your nature. That is you. Small video to follow on that one. That then all that, as I share with that tough cycle of going, oh, this is something that I haven't really told anybody. This is something even that I don't even really want to face. This is something that I might still feel a little guilty or shameful about, or this is something that, I get plagued about, and I rack my brain if this is even worth talking about. That's what limits you from sharing it with others. Is then that sensation, then that it might have to be that your experience, your observation of what is occurring within your mind about this cycle, what is occurring within your body and your sensations of your body about this past cycle has limited you from speaking of it and sharing of it. It's that thing, and I again go to that thing that you have been quietly suffering about. That is what is being unearthed this new moon. Not even unearthed. That is what is surfacing within the darkness of the new moon. The darkness that is all loving, the darkness that is all supportive, the darkness that feels very, very different than that heaviness that you have carried. It's time. It's time to face that. And then to potentially go through the healing cycle as you face it and as you realize you don't need to carry it. You can grieve. You can acclimate. You can rest. Integrate. Shift. Transfigure. Transform. All the good words. One more card. One. Ooh, okay. Does this have anything to do with the uncertainty of the world? And the uncertainty of with pandemic and economy and all of that. For, I kid you not, we are speaking of prosperity. Let me know. You're welcome to message me. I've been getting subtle nudges about doing, I guess, like a series or a little workshop on the worth wound and prosperity. And I actually really enjoy that this card deck uses the word prosperity instead of abundance. Because abundance is our natural state. We are abundant. And so it is actually quite redundant to ask for abundance. And so prosperity actually is I think when a lot of people speak of abundance, they are actually speaking of prosperity. They're speaking of this desire to be prosperous. And be that financial prosperity is usually the main one. Hence why I was like, oh, this is neat. I have actually had a couple conversations in the past days about the economy and those cycles of toughness that many people, of course, have faced during this past year, during all the shifts and difficulties and states of emergency. And there is a lot being reevaluated with that. One more card was being asked, and it's just saying, what do you need to release about that? So this is very much this end of a tough cycle. Okay, I get it, Spirit. Thank you. I know there is no more cards needed to be needed. If there's any questions, you're welcome to type into it in the live chat, or as well, any questions that come up in you contemplating this, please know you can share them in the comments. And I love chatting with all of you who connect to these videos. You're also welcome to share this video, to subscribe. All of that assists me most definitely in expanding my reach, even liking the video, all of that good stuff. I believe that's all how YouTube works. And so yes, let me know if in the comments, if you'd be interested in doing some worth work. That's how, okay, worth work. I like that. Let me know. What do you need to release? What is the martyr savior bit? What is the victim bit? What is the oppressed bit? What is the thing that is not allowing you to currently feel prosperous? To believe that prosperity is ahead. Receiving very clearly to share when I use that word ahead, to know that that does not mean a very long time. dependent on what we have spoken of before that is moving through. So okay. Okay, so the last messages that are being shared about prosperity is that so we spoke of the roller coaster that April may have felt like, or what the energy has felt like in moving into this new moon and out of this new moon, of days that you feel very, yes, I trust my heart, I trust my experience, I trust my guides, I trust everything, I'm fully connected. And then the next day you're like, no, I'm not. I doubt everything. Am I doing anything right? I don't know. I don't know. Am I worth this? What if I'm worth it? So there's a bit of back and forth. And so there is a reminder that this won't feel true on the days that you're releasing shit. This won't feel true when on the days that you are not feeling in deep connection. And so there is a practice then to do on the days that you feel disconnected or feel doubtful, and you don't feel that you have the energy to actually do the work. Because of course there is work to easily then move beyond those sensations. But if this is for like, if you're just like, I'm tired, I don't want to do the mental practices, I don't want to do the emotional processing practices, I just want to sit in my cave and feel like I'm a lump and I'm worthless. And believe that prosperity sure, it lies ahead, but it's going to be like, I'll get it right before I die. Like there's no, like the ahead seems long. So this is for you that feels that the ahead feels long. To see what you can do that day to turn off your brain. I may have spoken this. I don't know if I've spoken this for sure with within the work that I do with people, but I don't know if I've said it yet on this, but you're allowed. You can take a day to shut off your brain. So that shutting off of the brain might be watching cartoons, really feeding the inner child. That might be knitting, painting, creating something, playing games that feel pleasing, pleasant, and easy, that don't require tons of mental acuity. But if the mind still comes in as you do those things and starts doubting and doing that, then the easiest thing is to drown it out. And so drowning it out, gosh, talking about things that many people are scared to do, is to make some noise. And literally that's what I'm sharing, is to make some noise. Think of like how kids used to bang on pots and pans, clang, 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 the louder, the better, right? My dog, I know he's chilling because I'm channeling right now. So, but many of you have heard his super loud bark. He likes to make some noise. He likes to clear the air. It gets you out of the head. So, And when I say make some noise too, it's like literally that simple. It's not about singing a song that has words, because of course words can then trigger and bring us back into the mind. So you can even start humming. But humming is a little bit tentative in making noise, right? You're like, so make some noise. Ah! Make some noise. Ho ha, ho ha, ha. Allow yourself to even tone louder. Oh, until you need to take a breath, right? But our sound, back to at the beginning of this message, when they're like, trust your heart, your sound, that one sound that is you, right? That is what making some noise is doing. It's connecting you further and further to the heart and clearing out some of the caca, clearing out some of the gunk that is veiling or foggying the process that day. So make some noise. Allow your heart to sing. Allow yourself to vocalize all that is moving through you, be it that it's a low tone or a high tone. Clear the air. Lay down the crosses you don't have to carry. It's time. Because if you are committed to believing in you, if you're committed to trusting in you, and moving with compassion to the things that may surface within you to release. Your prayers are surfacing. Do you feel it? Do you feel the energy of what was just shared? One nice thing, of course, some of you may look at the video as I record it and see all my lovely, weird mannerisms and movements. And I do love that. So you're always welcome to look at me when you need to, and you can check out all the different things in the background. The beauty of these videos is that you can also simply just listen to the sound. You're welcome to re-listen to this message just to the sound as you lay in your bed, as you lay in your bathtub, having a nice soak, as you garden and connect to the earth, as you even just sit outside. Our prayers on this path, what if this path was clear? Are then of gratitude. Abundant gratitude for all that is moving through, all that is coming forward and journeying towards you, to walk alongside you. And a couple things came up. It's neat. So just to, nice clearing. Where's the sound? If you're so guided to journey with me further, my website shares the journeys that move through connecting to the power of self, the power of love. That's meaning being in relations and in connection. And also gift development. I do not offer trainings or certifications, for everyone has unique gifts and guides and essence. And so I do that always individually and privately. I also share energy medicine. Medicine is when that is not needed as consistently. You don't take medicine every day unless you are moving through an immense cycle of healing. So it can be used for those in cycles of deep healing, or for also those who want, or just feeling that they've kind of plateaued. They're at that time, I need to ask for some help. So I can get a kickstart, a refresh, a boot, see something that I may not be able to see. What has come up in the cards has definitely shared to share specifically energy clearing or personal guidance, if interested. I do also offer ancestral journeys. Someone's ancestors are calling. And then the last question, which was really neat that came up with this card, was who is interested in doing worth work and having I'm excited about this. I will also check in with some of the peeps that work with me, and but if you feel so guided, put a comment down below and say yes to worth work, and I can start to collate and put something together. Oh, Haldi. Yes, I am worthy. Blessed new moon. So nice to connect today. Excellent. I will put something together about that. Other than that, may you enjoy and receive what has come through this new moon. And I look forward to seeing you for other live oracle sessions, full moon as well. So this will be a bi-weekly thing now on YouTube. And other than that, much love. I will get off now so that you can, if you came on later, to listen to the replay, listen to the energy that was shared, and receive. Allow yourself to receive what this prompt, what this sound that I was guided to share today, the words that I was guided to share today, may prompt within your heart and your path. Take care.